Right, let's just check this. This is all different. Are we live? Yes, it looks like we are. Can someone please give me a 5x5 so we can continue? This is like crazy news. I don't do things like this usually, but we need to get this out there. This is really crazy stuff. They were just waiting for the 5x5. There's only a few people in the chat because this literally just dropped and we need to get it right. Cool. We are live. 5x5. Everyone can see and hear me. As the title suggests, it's about the online safety bill again. This is going to be my 4th video this year talking about this, and lots of us behind the scenes have been campaigning and lobbying and all sorts of things to try whatever we all could to get this stopped. But it looks like it's happened. I'm very sad to say, though, this is really scary news. I don't think the majority of the people watching this fully understand what this actually means. I've been talking about this since February, and if you wanted to check, there's links underneath this video. Click show more. There's about 7 links or so. 3 of them are the videos that I've made talking about this, and I was really hoping that it wouldn't go through. It's been close before, and it's been sort of kicked out of court, as it were. But let me just try and find it on here, and I can show you what I mean. Now, this is during within the last 5 days. This is how it was back then. If you can see on the screen there, it is literally was being considered for considerations. Now that has all changed, and like I said, it's not good news, I'm afraid, boys and girls. We're going to show you the very latest of how it is right now. This is up to date. If you look at this, the 21st of September, just in this afternoon, a few hours ago, and we are here right now in the process of royal assent. Okay, this is sinister. I am not joking. This is more sinister than you can shake a stick at. Now, royal assent means, if you don't know, it literally falls upon the shoulders of our king. And if you don't know, some of this may shock you, but look at this. Good friends, and they go back a long, long way. And most of you will know who that guy is on the left of the picture. Yes, I know, it's true. And like I said, this is seriously worrying news, okay? It's literally been put out there under the guise of protecting children and adults online to make sure that we're all safe, okay? Yes, we're all grown-ups. Do we need looking after? No, I don't believe we do. We should be free enough to decide what we want to do. Now, cutting straight to the chase. Hi, Ben, good to see you. Straight to the chase. It is literally a wolf in sheep's clothing. Okay, it's nothing. It's got a little bit to do about protecting kids and people getting harmed online with bullying and things like that. Fair enough. That's not a bad idea, and that's a good thing. But what it actually does is it gives the government and private companies total power to go into all private encrypted messaging applications and platforms on the ground here in the United Kingdom. So if you use things like WhatsApp, Instagram, Telegram, Signal, Wire, Briar, all of these platforms, at some point very soon, and I believe it will be very soon, they are all going to be scanned in real time. Okay, so if there's any content which you've been talking to friends and family, obviously private, because P2P, which is person-to-person or point-to-point encryption, should be just that. Okay, so two people go onto a platform and can talk privately with the knowledge and the comfort that no one is going to be in on that conversation, whether it's shared documents, whether it's shared photographs, whether it's shared videos, whether it's shared telephone calls or video calls. All of that pretty soon is no longer going to be private. That's it. And I do know, and I had a comment recently about this, and if any of you watching now are going to say something like, I've got nothing to hide, it doesn't bother me, those people, you need to distance yourself from those people, because those people are freaking dangerous. You people, if you take that opinion, you are part of the problem, and you're never going to understand it. How can we put it? If you shared a private video with your wife and you didn't want no one to see it, would you be happy for unknown third parties and the government being able to watch that? Are you happy with that? I mean, at the end of the day, private is private. It's got no one else's business. Even if you've got something to hide or you haven't got anything to hide, it's got nothing to frigging do with it. Okay, it's nothing to do with that. This goes deeper than that. So what about these companies who have got no choice now? There's already talk of Signal, which is an amazing application. They are strongly considering leaving the UK. So basically, if you're in the UK and you use Signal, like lots of us do, it won't be available to you. Now, if you use Telegram and you believe that that's private and secure, it is absolutely not. You are tracked everywhere. I've got good friends who know their stuff and they've run programs and software to check it, and yes, it tracked them everywhere. So Telegram is not safe. WhatsApp is an absolute joke. If you are sharing sensitive and private information on WhatsApp, believing it's private, you are a fool and you are a tool. End of story. There's no arguments. You can look online and find so much evidence about how freaking insecure WhatsApp is. Okay. Signal is probably one of the only ones. Like I said, there's Briar, Wire, and there's another one which name escapes me now, but they are pretty good. But like I said, they are going to be looking through everything. They are going to be scanning every single solitary message that has been used on all private encrypted platforms. And unfortunately, that includes email. So if you are a Proton user or anything like that, all of it's going to be scanned. Okay, so I'm not sure whether it's too late now if you have been talking about something, especially if it goes against the government and the mainstream narrative. If you are talking against it, you disagree with the things that's been going on, especially within the last 3 years, you are going to probably have some concerns about this. Now, whether you decide to delete all of the information which you've been sharing privately online via encrypted messaging services, and indeed encrypted emails like Proton and many others, okay? Whether it's going to be the horse is already bolted, I don't know. I am no means an expert on this. All I know that privacy is privacy, and we have all a right to privacy. Every single one of us. It's no one else's business what we talk about. Why do you think when people go to the pub and they're sitting down and they lower their voices, they're talking privately? How would you feel if you was in a pub and you lowered your voices and you was talking and someone sat right next to you and put their ear next to you? How would you feel? Excuse me, it's a private conversation. Can you just leave, please? You won't be able to do that. This software integration from the government and private companies who they are going to be contracting to monitor the whole of the internet in the United Kingdom. Now, one of the reasons why I wanted to put this video out, because if you didn't already know, like I said, I've already done videos on this going right back to February this year. You are free to watch them all the time they are there. At some point soon, we've already heard the distracting news by RB, and I'm not going to even say the guy's name, but you know who I'm talking about. Yes, there's big smear campaigns. Snowden talked about this way back in 2013, okay? And it's here. There's nothing much we can do about it. What would be good is to get people's ideas about how we can get around this, okay? One of the first comments I saw on this chat before it actually went live was back to smoke signals. But we are looking at something a little bit more up to date than smoke signals, okay? It's pretty much going to be, if you want to communicate with someone in the United Kingdom on the actual mainland, the only way that you are going to be able to do it is you write a letter, old school, and post it to them. But that's not very convenient because we have been used to sharing private information in a split second, okay? Not just typing text. You know, we have been fortunate enough to be able to use videos, documents, PDFs, voice messages, telephone, all encrypted, all secure, all private. Guess what, Jack? It's all going to stop, and it's going to stop very, very soon. Like we saw earlier on in this live stream, if you just joined, you might have to go back to the beginning and watch it when this ends. Yes, it falls upon the head of our king. Whether you love him or whether you hate him, he's there, and it is what it is. And lots of us know who is involved with, okay? Lots of people know who he's involved with. And he's been passing some crazy laws already. When did you know that it is now perfectly legal to buy and sell and use genetically modified organisms here in the United Kingdom? That's only recent. And guess who had the final nod on that? Our king. And bearing in mind, like I just showed you earlier, with our lovely little evil friend over in Switzerland, yes, I bet you any money you like, our king signs this bill off, and it's going to be soon. It's already in the process, okay? We are literally running out of time now. If we want to share information privately, I'd love to know your thoughts and ideas about how we get around this. Now, I want to show you this. It just literally dropped from Signal because we was talking about Signal earlier, okay? 22 hours ago. Signal hints at leaving the UK market following passage of the online safety bill. We've already spoke about this. And like I say, Signal is an absolute fantastic platform to share information privately. Okay. It's not rocket science. This platform is incredible. It's a little bit tricky to get your head around when you first use it, especially if you compare it to all the simple things like Telegram and Signal, and WhatsApp. Okay. But yes, it's crazy. Look at this. It's from Meredith Whitaker. Oh, did I really want to go into that? No, here we go. Signal will never undermine our privacy promises and encryption they rely on. Our position remains firm. We will continue to do whatever we can to ensure people in the UK can use Signal. But if the choice came down to being forced to build a backdoor or leaving, we would leave. There it is. Basically, what that statement says is this. There's certain terms which they use, which names escapes me now, some certain protocols which the government and, like I said, private companies will be given full access to all private military, sometimes encrypted platforms. Now, I do believe recently Signal have just released a little bit more privacy regards in their encryption software. But nonetheless, what we just saw there, it's a backdoor. It's a backdoor into all of our online applications. And that, my friend, is a big issue, serious issue. The concerns literally run everywhere with this. It really is. Some people just don't get the implications of this bill. They really don't. This is going to go down in history because, mark my words, you will find out in time that this is going to have a massive impact. All of the different videos that I've done over the last 12 months, these online safety bills, in my own personal opinion, are the most serious, important, biggest ones to concern ourselves with. And I never thought I'll be sitting here right now saying this. Me and many others were literally hoping that this wouldn't get signed off. But like I said, it's in the hands of the king now. And like I said, we all know what's going to happen there. So what do we do? How can we get around this? Someone said it's quite simple. Just use a VPN. Yeah, a virtual private network. Sorry, my head scrambled because this news has blown my mind. It really has. And I know some of you are trying to come to terms with this. It's a freaking nightmare and it's going to get worse. This isn't fear porn. Okay, this isn't I've got nothing to hide, it doesn't worry me. This is really serious stuff, and it's not going to sink in until you get it into your head that every single message that you sent, which you believe was absolutely private, whatever it was, pretty soon is not going to be private at all. Now, one concern that I have got is these private companies which the government are going to be using to monitor this, because there is no way they can do this by themselves. No way. So yes, private companies will be given full access to all of your private communications online here, mainland, in the United Kingdom. My concerns are, what if any of those members in those private companies, if they are a bit lapsidaisical with their protocols, what if they get hacked? And whoever hacks them, they might be able to get access into everything. So it's not just the government and private trusted companies to scan all of your private material. What if it gets hacked? Your private data will literally be up for sale on the dark web. People will be using ransomware. If you don't know what that means, basically you have to pay whoever it is so to stop this event from happening, like an AI generated deep fake image of you and some girl or some boy or some woman or whatever it is sent to someone like a loved one. Okay, blackmail, bribery, etc. That is very freaking real, and it's not far away now. So like I said, would a VPN work? Because from what I understand of this bill, it only affects everyone physically here in mainland UK. So lots of us use VPNs. I use them, my friends use them, lots of people use them, and rightly so, because some of the research which we need to do to try and figure out what the friggin' hell is going on and how it's going to affect us, because as preppers, we need to know as much information as possible so we can plan and prepare as we navigate through this crazy crap storm, which is literally being orchestrated by our government. And who is running it? Mr. Sunak. Was he elected? No. Exactly. And we've already been talking about him on live streams before, about Infosys and his father and all of the stuff with his wife and tax. What a gangster with a great big cheesy smile. Yes, believe it or not, real criminals wear suits. They don't walk around like you or I. Okay, we're talking the big fish right now. And pretty soon, like I said, they are going to be given full friggin' access to all of our private information. It's none of their business. So would a VPN actually work? I remember reading an article somewhere, and I believe it said it wouldn't be viable because there's ways that it can be hacked and tracked back to all sorts of things, MAC addresses, IMEI numbers, all of these things. And it can use, especially if you use Google platforms with all of that tracking data, cookies, they can find out where your location is. And if any single flag comes up that you are actually in UK and not over in the Isle of Man or bloody Southern Ireland or something like that, yes, that's going to raise big flags and you are going to be investigated. They are going to be going through all of your private stuff, and all sorts of things can come from that. Don't forget, we are already tiptoeing into a social credit system which has been used in China for some years now. That is absolutely coming down the road. It's all going to be tied in, everything. I know some of you know exactly what I'm talking about here. Digital ID, central bank digital currency. There's even rumors and speculation that the whole entire global internet will come down for a period of time. And when it goes back up, the only way that you're going to be able to get any access to any internet is to provide your digital ID. That stuff is real. It's coming down the road. We need to try and figure out, as this cops and robbers game grows even larger, how do we get around this? How can we still communicate with people? And yes, I know some of us use ham radio, etc. But if you do it legally, you have to register, you have to be licensed. If you've got a license, that gives the police and Ofcom powers to come round to your home at any time without any notice and inspect your equipment. So they say. So really, is this where it's going? Is this what it's coming down to? Why can't we just speak privately online? We have been doing so for some years, but this bill changes everything. And it is no joke. It's not to be scoffed at. And if any of you bloody gits out there saying, I've got nothing to hide, it doesn't affect me, you'll see, you're going to find out the hard way. And I know many of my cool followers on here, each and every one of you, all of the members of the Funky Fam, absolutely know, because we are not just preppers, we are aware preppers. We really know what's going on outside of this 3D reality. And this stuff is literally screaming down the road right now. Look at all of the distractions lately. Look what happened with RB. It's been splashed all over the pages of the newspapers. Even Neil, my friend I was chatting to earlier, he has been demonetized from that video that he done talking about the deplatformization, if that's the term, of RB only a few days ago. So this stuff is really, really serious. I mean, did you hear about Rupert Murdoch, 90 odd years old, just stepped down? And his last parting words were, this is the pinnacle point in time regarding privacy. Yes. So the thumbnail, the end of privacy online. Yep, it looks like it's just about to happen. I don't know what we can do. I don't know how we can prepare for this. It's just a scary concept. So I would like to know all of your input regarding how we can actually get around this. Okay, like I said, if you are physically in the UK and you use a VPN, so online, you appear to be not in the UK. I believe that I read somewhere that it's going to come back to you that yes, you are in the UK, and that's probably going to raise a red flag to investigate you even further and maybe use even more intense scanning of your private conversations. I suspect at bare minimum, we are going to be looking at keyword searches. Okay. So they're just going to be scanning through all of the conversations, looking for any indecent images, maybe with children or whatever it is that they're trying to say, this is what we're doing it for, to protect children. Do you really think the government cares about children? Really? Do you really think they care that much? Up to 6 months old, they said it's okay for them to have that in the last couple of years. So no, I don't believe the government has children's values at heart. I fundamentally disagree that they say, yes, it's for your safety. We want to keep you safe. How many times in history have we heard, we need to keep you safe? Look what happened in World War II with Hitler. Okay. Yeah. Privacy, security, and safety, it all completely sucks. And like I said, how are we going to communicate online moving forward? How are we going to do that? It really does make you think, you know, if you've sent any messages to any of your friends, sharing links to research material, which most of us are actively doing, because all we want to do is to have a nice, simple, quiet, decent life, a decent standard of living. We shouldn't have to be struggling, working all of these hours, paying all of these stupid taxes, and people being sent to prison, being fined. All we want is to live a peaceful life and just to have our privacy. What's so bad about that? Obviously, Big Brother and the government and all the other cronies who are trying to skim from all of this great big custard pie, they literally want to control every single frigging thing you do. Everything. Now, this bill is literally going to put software to go through all of those encrypted platforms. And yes, can you imagine the amount of boffins, the amount of brains that they have at their disposal? Can you imagine the amount of unlimited funding to carry this off? And let's face it, we're not talking billions, we're talking way more than that to literally carry this through. Can you imagine how much time and money it's taken to develop artificial intelligence, quantum computers, to literally run riots through all of this? Exponential. We talked about this. Technology is growing so fast, it's way beyond our control. I mean, here's a good one. How many of you watching right now can put your hand on your heart and say, I know how to fully operate my phone with the developer mode to take away certain apps, to turn certain things off, and it actually work? Not many, a very small minority. I would hazard a guess and say 5% of everyone watching this won't have the mental capacity to learn and understand how a smartphone works. Yet we all use them all of the time. We all trust them, especially with this private encrypted messaging systems that are available. I know. It's scary stuff, and I'm really sorry to be able to do this video. I really hoped that I'd never have to sit here and say this, but no, it's true. So, yes, that's it. Online privacy, guys. It's going bye-bye. It's crazy. And yeah, I really don't want to think too much about it because it's frightening. I mean, do we delete everything? Some messages and certain informations and voice messages are deeply personal, sentimental. It's got no one. It's no one else's business listening and watching all of those messages. It's got nothing. Bloody ridiculous. But that seems to be how it's going on. And like I said earlier, cops and robbers, you can literally see the cops are going to crunch down on us, which they are doing. They've had a victory already in this, and it's up to us, if you want to call us the robbers, using that analogy, have to try and figure out a way around it so we can still communicate with people. What about watching the films like The Matrix and other films where they're using hacking and technology to sort of get around the system? Like the state comes down upon them with all of that funding and resource and technological know-how to try and stop all sorts of people communicating. This is no Hollywood movie, Jack. This is real, and it's happening. Like I said, it's just down to this guy. And do you really think he gives a flying toss about our privacy? I really don't think he cares about us at all. Even when we look at who is involved with back in the day, cyber attacks. This sort of stuff is literally coming down the road. And, you know, what the hell are we going to do about it? I mean, even all of this sort of stuff, your DNA will be your data. All of your messaging, which is probably, if it's unencrypted or not private, is probably fair game to people so they can sell your data. But now they are taking it a massive step forward in going into every single fabric of your private conversations. It's crazy. How many people fell for this? How many people put that on their phones? How many people realize if there's any backdoor bugs in that software to get into your phone and to scan and collate and to pass data to third parties and to sell it to companies for profit? We're living in a crazy world now. And like I said, Us as a community, we need to figure out a way around this so we can continue to share private information without it being looked at. So if anyone has got any ideas, just put it out there in the comment section, or if you're watching live right now, fantastic. If you want to, send me an email, and because I'm keen to learn as well, because I want to continue talking to my friends and colleagues privately, because the stuff that we talk about has got no one else's business. It's got nothing to do with anyone else. Okay. So, just check on this. Thank you. There we go. Thank you for your donation, Ben. What a guy. Awesome. We need to go back to physically meeting up with people for talking truth. Create a code link. Do you know what? Funny you should say that. Yes. I was actually looking at code earlier. So basically, if you've got a group of friends, like 10 people of the same mindset as us, and you wanted to communicate with them after this bill goes through, which could be days or weeks now, it might even be today or tonight. We just don't know at this point. What about getting alphabet or writing it in code? So each of all of us 10 friends have something to translate it so we can all read it in English. That would be something which I actually considered, and I had been looking into that for the last hour or so. And would that be a way around things? It just seems that anything online, no matter how hard or how wealthy you are or how intelligent you are, it's not private. And it sounds like a defeatist attitude, and it's not like me to say that. My saying, which I've come up with for 13 years now, is there's always a way. But like Ben said, you know, and what I said earlier, the only real way you can communicate with people without anyone knowing what you're talking about or what you're doing is to send it via a letter. Even if you do it special delivery, that could be 24, 48 hours. I mean, if it's sensitive information and if it's got like a short life expectancy or a time frame, it's going to be unacceptable to use that method of communication. CB radio, that's not private and never has been, even on sidebands. Okay, even if you're talking code, it's only going to be a smart ass who translate it. Freedom Fighter, a member as well, the Funky Fam. Thank you very much for that donation. And also from Nelson as well. Thank you for that super sticker. That's very, very kind. But yes, we do need to make sure that we have a way around this. There will be a video going up tonight at 7 o'clock, not far away now. And that is pretty astonishing what they have done. I'm not going to say too much about it. Stick around for that video, okay? Oh, Jesus, check this out. JJ Recon in the house. Awesome to see you, sir, from Archaics, and a member as well. In times of detergency, disobedience is degeneracy. Sorry, detergency. Sorry, I've just been blown away by lots of stuff. Disobedience is duty. Yes, absolutely. It's okay saying I won't comply, but listen, we still have to communicate. If we can't communicate and we can't stay private, how the hell are we going to try and better our lives going through this crazy, thick, evil, privacy evading soup? How are we going to get through that, really? Like Ben said, and yes, meet up. But the problem is, we are globally connected now. I have got friends all around the world. I've got friends all over the United Kingdom. It's physically impossible to physically meet and to talk and share things. It's just impossible. And like I said, snail mail via letter, that is one way. We need to find another way. Ham radio, it's hit or miss. Like I said, if you operate that illegally, i.e. you are not licensed, I believe that you can be triangulated via your signal and you could be investigated by Ofcom, and they are going to bring in the powers of the police to seize your, confiscate your equipment, etc. So it just seems that every single corridor that we turn to go down, there's a locked door at the end of it. And without being fear-mongering, like some people say me and many of my friends are. We need to find a way out. We need to find a way out. And we need to find it frigging soon. Landline. Are you serious? SMS and voice on landline can be hacked by a 7-year-old. No joke. It's very, very easy to tap and to hack landlines. SMS, short message service, is the easiest thing to tap into as well. VPNs, I use Proton VPN, and you can triangulate 3 countries. And I use Brave with Smart Page, and there's not much more I can do to sort of try and protect my identity and what I'm looking at to try and understand the world that we are truly living in, rather than the BS that's put out there in the mainstream. If anyone's got any better ideas than how I use the internet for my searches, hit us up in the chat or the comments. It would be good, because the thing is, all of us can read and we can learn and try things ourselves. Satellite phones, they can still be hacked, believe it or not. And it's crazy because LEO, the low Earth orbit satellites, there's so many of them up there now. And yes, they can all be pinged. They can be tracked back to your signal, and it can be decoded and unencrypted, revealing your private message. It's crazy. VPNs, apparently they won't be useful if you want to protect your identity. Okay, so what do you mean? Whoever this is not new. I don't know about that, but the online safety bill is about to be passed, and that is new. It's never happened in the history of mankind. So yes, but if you're obviously just turned up and you're new or whatever it is, but any sort of private encrypted messaging platform that you are using or you are thinking of using, every single communication will be scanned by the government and agencies very soon. Nothing will be private. Okay, the only way that you're going to be able to exist privately online is to physically move outside of the UK. Yes, whether that can be possible if you are on the sea, so we could go down maritime law because you're not physically on the land. That might work. Can you imagine that? Going out in a little dinghy or a speedboat and just hooking up on the internet, etc. Maybe, maybe not. Like I say, this is just brainstorming, and I'd really love to hear your thoughts about all of this stuff which I've talked about. Let me just see. That's crazy. Let me just put that on there. Sorry, I just got sidetracked by then. Also, thank you very much to Martin, who's just donated on PayPal. If you want to, you don't have to, but all of the links and donation links are down below, because this channel literally runs on donations and advertising revenue from YouTube. YouTube is getting increasingly an unstable platform to share this information, and my time here is limited. So every penny really helps. You don't have to, like I say, you really don't have to, but if you can, trust me, you are helping more than you can imagine. Even you guys watching on the replay, you can still do that. Buy me a coffee, Ko-fi and PayPal. Friends and family is even better, because all of the money goes to the channel, and it seriously helps. Let me just check. I think this is from Les. Thank you very much for that donation, Les. You're very kind. And that is pretty much it, guys. We're going to wrap this up now. Thank you ever so much for everyone who's taken time out of their busy day. I'm sorry it was short notice. This just needs to get out there, because we could wake up tomorrow and this online safety bill could be a genuine law, i.e. it's got the stamp of approval by Royal Assent, King Charles. Yes, that could happen. We could wake up tomorrow and it'll be like it is. So it's just a heads up. I know it's very short notice and time is literally running out. We need to get our thinking caps on to try and navigate our way around this crazy mess, because it's going to affect everyone. Whether you think it's not, it will. It's just a matter of time. You're going to say something, you're going to do something. If you said it in the past and they find it, yes, they could stop your turn your smart meter off. They could interrupt your social credit score, which is coming along, by the way. All of these things are literally going to be flags on everything. Digital fingerprints. Some of you guys know what I'm talking about. So everyone who's donated, thank you very much. You didn't have to, but it seriously helps. Everyone who's taken part in the chat, you guys are legends, and I'm going to try and read through the messages after this video live stream ends. And all of the members are really helping, because the money that the members generate together really helps me get this out there to pay the bills, etc. It's fundamentally helping. So all of you members, thank you so very much. And the moderators out there are incredible. You guys are the best, and without you, you guys are the glue holding all of this chat together, because if there's no moderators out there, all sorts of crazy things happen. Thank you from the videographer guy with opinions for that donation as well. You got in just on time, because this is the end of the stream. Thanks for watching. Take care and stay funky.